Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. It is Monday, June 7th, 2021. Time is 9:02. If everybody could please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, Steve. How are you, John? Pretty good.
Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Miss Reagan.
Present.
Mr. King.
Here.
Mr. Brook.
Here.
First up, we have the approval of minutes for the May 17, 2021 Commissioners meeting. Also, the May 25th, 2021 executive session.
I move we adopt.
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Miss Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Next, we'll move to contracts or agreements for approval. First up is the emergency declaration 2021-12. John?
I did not get a consensus from the commissioners as to how you wanted to approach this. The governor continued the health emergency for a 15th time till July 1st, but dropped the mask mandate for all state-owned facilities except for prisons and the state hospital. And also for schools. Since you don't cover schools, I didn't know how the commissioners wanted to proceed forward, so.
I would prefer to drop the mask mandate. However, if there is department heads that wish to require a mask in their offices, they could put a sign up on their door stating that a mask is required in their office. That'd be my feeling.
I know that that's how businesses are doing it, and I have heard that some office holders would like to continue, so I agree.
So I'll make that a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Miss Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Next, we have micro vote contract. Mr. Spangler?
Morning, Commissioners. County Clerk Rick Spangler. This is an extension of the contract with Microvote. That's the company that supplies our voting machines for the election.
And we've had this contract for several years, correct, Rick?
Yeah, we've been with them. Steve, were you the first one that started with?
Karen Winger.
Karen Winger, so that we've been with them a long time. That's an all-inclusive contract that takes care of servicing, getting the machines ready. They're a good company to work with.
I'll make a motion, we approve the contract with Microvote.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Miss Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Next, we'll move to ordinances for first reading. Ordinance number 2021-021, an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Section 123, Section N concerning weapons, cell phones, and other items in or on county-owned or operated property.
Commissioners, because of the new facility that you have out there on South Tillotson, I was looking at the county code and found that the county code only addresses this building and the old Justice Center. And so the ordinance needs to be amended to add these things for the new Justice Center. Weapons and also motorized means of transportation, mechanical means of transportation. Evidently, there's been some issues about people moving through the hallways on hoverboards and also dogs being on leashes. There is a state statute, but I thought I would reiterate that in the county ordinance as well.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
I'll make a motion, we introduce ordinance 2021-021.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to introduce. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Miss Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. You want to suspend the rules on this so we can go ahead?
Now, I
since
would
it's
like
do
you to
with
take a
the-
look at it and just adopt it at the next meeting.
All right, that's fine.
If there's something you want to amend or change, let's, we can work on that at the next meeting, okay?
Okay.
Second reading.
Next, we have resolutions for approval.
She
Have
fixed it.
a resolution of Board of Commissioners establishing the policy by which members of the Board of Commission may participate by electronic means of communication.
This is a resolution that was a result of the most recent legislative session. This tracks the statute to allow commissioners well, just commissioners, because each body will have to adopt their own resolution, to attend meetings electronically, set up for the rules in this particular ordinance or this resolution. You can't do more than 2 at a time, and there's certain issues that cannot participate electronically. You have to be visible and audible, that you have to be able to see and hear the person when it's when they're voting electronically or attending electronically.
I make a motion, we approve the resolution.
Second. Have any further discussion between the commissioners? Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes. Next, we'll move to resolution number 2021-018, resolution by the Board of Commissioners to opt out of opioid settlement pursuant to IC 46-15-2.
This is a resolution also as a result of the most recent legislative session. At the last minute, the state of Indiana adopted in the budget bill some restrictions on Delaware County's ability to participate in the opioid lawsuit that's been going on for about 1.5 years now, that the county has been involved in, probably not 2 years. And what this is the legislature allowed counties and municipalities to opt out of the opioid legislation because it was really unfair to the local communities. The state was taking like 85 to 90% of the funds at the last minute, and they were prohibiting and restricting counties from pursuing all possible remedies. So the counties were the ones that were hit hardest in this particular problem, and therefore this opts you out of the opioid settlement. Hopefully that some negotiations can occur between the counties and the state to change the mechanism and the funding strategy.
So we need to contact our legislators and
Yes.
give us some relief.
I make a motion, we approve the resolution.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes. Next, we have resolution number 2021-019, resolution of the Delaware County, Indiana Board of Commissioners to transfer county-owned real property to the Muncie Sanitary District.
This is a request from the sanitary district to transfer parcel of real estate, legal description attached as Exhibit A, to 22.35 acres for their purposes.
Is that the property out there behind the YOC, John?
I believe it is. It's on center line of White River.
Yeah. I move we adopt 2021-019.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes. Next, we have resolution number 2021-020, resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Delaware County, Indiana, approving a declaratory resolution and economic development plan of the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission, and approving an order of the Delaware-Muncie Metropolitan Plan Commission regarding the Industrial Center Economic Development Area.
That's a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Well done.
Morning.
I'm Brad Bookout with Delaware County Redevelopment Commission. This is your support in the form of a declaratory resolution
Take my mask on.
for the expansion of the Industrial Center TIF District redevelopment area. This allows for the CanPack project, the possible sale of the Shell building, and also the development of the property to the north of the new Jail Justice Center. So with your support of this today, it will continue to advance. There are 7 public bodies that approve this. The county Plan Commission has already given their blessing to this in order to come to you today. So I will be happy to answer any questions, but I request your support so we can advance the process.
I make a motion, we approve Resolution 2021-020.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes,
Mr. King.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
thank you.
And Brad, I just want to say to you and Tracy Lutton, great job on this. I know the politicians sometimes get up and pound their chest on all this. I'm one that's going to give credit where credit is due, and that goes to you. That goes to Tracy Lutton. That goes to the attorneys that I said on the phone calls, the meetings with. You guys brought this home. We appreciate everything you guys do. Like I said, you guys don't get the credit you deserve. I watched you and Tracy work together. It was a great team doing this, and it's going to bring some more jobs to Delaware County. It's going to build the tax base. We just help with the incentives. People don't know the time and the effort that you guys put into doing this. So kudos, thank you. All the credit goes to you guys and the attorneys that worked on this, so thanks.
I appreciate that
it.
very much, but I do want to remind everybody it's not possible without you as the county commissioners supporting what we do. So you give us the reins and the freedom to do that. So I really appreciate your kudos, James, but likewise, right back to all three of you county commissioners. At your direction, we try to run a very good ship, and we've had a very good year despite the pandemic, and we're proud, and we're going to keep it going for you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Brad.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Next, department heads, elected officials. Does anybody have anything?
Paul Singleton, 911 Director. I'd like to give you an update on what's going on with us, if you'll receive that. Air conditioning unit is been installed and it's up and working. The only thing we're waiting on is some hail guards to go on the outside. Those had to be reordered. We're very close to getting our generator set. They've done some preliminary work, so I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks we'll have that generator in and set. During that time, we're going to run a 24-hour shift out at EMS 3, so we get used to all of our backup equipment. So everyone will get the opportunity to run on that backup equipment. And the last thing, our CAD upgrade, which three of you approved. That's in the process, and we won't go live on that till sometime in October, but there's process of building it and getting all this stuff prepared, and Jim Fluke and IT's working closely with us. So that's an update on what's going on in our building.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thanks,
And Paul, a couple of weeks ago, I had an issue with one of my family members that has dementia that got lost. Tell your dispatchers thank you for all their help to find him. It took us a few hours,
Sure.
but it was almost in Illinois. But they did a fantastic job. So tell them that
Right.
thank you.
I put that out to him as soon as you sent that to me, and when everything works like it's supposed to, that's the outcome, and that's what we've come to expect.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they're the ones behind the scene too.
Sure.
That don't get a lot of credit, but tell every last one of them that thank you.
I will
Did a great
reiterate
job.
that again to him.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else? John, I would ask for you to do one thing if you could. Is there any way how you can send a letter to the mayor and also whoever's running the Ironman that when this is scheduled in October, I've had several calls from some of the farmers in the area that this is going to be around their harvest time, and they need to work with the farmers to make sure they get in and out of the fields.
Okay.
So they're gonna have to share the roads, so if they can lend their volunteers. I know they said in the past, like the sheriff's department has helped them out, getting them in and out, but a lot of the volunteers that work where the roads are closed, they've had problems in the past. So, if you can just send a letter to them stating that they'll have to work with our farmers, I'd
And
appreciate
in the
it.
emergency.
Yep.
Mike, could you make a note of that so we can, Mr. Catino's on vacation in Florida, but make a note of that so we can talk to him about that as well.
I'd be copied because they apply for a permit through my office every year.
Yeah.
I can make sure that everyone gets copied.
Yeah, let's sit and talk with them.
Okay.
And John, they have came to us also to close down what roadways that is needed?
Have they made an application for this year yet, Angie?
Not-
Probably should have happened.
Usually they do it around this time, but it's normally in July.
Right.
So. they've
That
not
way we
reached
can
out.
at least know the roadways that's gonna be closed, so.
Yeah,
I'll
Ben,
put- We
They
can put that
publicize their
out.
map, so I can download that and send it to you guys, so you have an idea.
and I've not seen a timeline, but with their 2 races, which is going to be, and how much longer they're going to be there, that's going to be the problem.
Well, with it being in October, the farmers are gonna be out doing their harvest. We probably need to know this as soon as possible, so we can get that out to them, so.
That's good planning.
Can you get that to John, please?
Yep.
Thank
And
you.
I'll send a draft letter to all of you to approve, then send it out, okay?
All
Very
right,
good, thank you.
Does anybody have anything else? If not, has everybody received their monthly report from Weights and Measures?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll move to payment of claims in the amount of $2,297,503.48.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Next, we'll move to public comments, questions. We have a Tanya Brothers Bridge.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tanya Brothers Bridge, 3208 East McGalliard here in Muncie. 2 items. First is I wanted to thank you for now following the Governor and Dr. Box's guidelines for the mask mandate. So thank you for dropping that mandate in this building. Second, I come to you as a board member for the Muncie Sanitary District, and I wanted to say thank you on behalf of the board for resolution number 2021-019. We thank you, and Ms. Reagan, you asked if it was behind the YOC, and it is. It's immediately behind there, adjacent to our property. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Miss Phyllis Lutton.
Well, I want to thank you. I am a happy camper.
Well, tell us your name and address. Or
Oh, okay. Phyllis Lutton. I've lived in Wheeling 87 years. My address is 6608 West Eden Wheeling Pike. I'm on the advisory board in Washington Township. I have been fighting 3 years to get this road fixed where the old railroad track used to go through. And I want you to know they've done a wonderful job. They've been in Washington Township now probably 4 days last week, and they done an 850 and 750, and they done several roads that was really in bad shape. So we all appreciate it, and everyone that has come to me and said, Phyllis, you done a good job. Well, it wasn't Phyllis, it was you commissioners finally. After all these years, you got it done. So I want to thank you all for everything.
Our highway department does
It was a
a
very
great
good
job.
job. They done. The boys done a good job.
and we appreciate the, honorary mayor of Wheeling getting up early, driving a half an hour in to
Anybody
give us-
wants to come through Wheeling, wave. I'm right there on the corner. I always say God is good. Thank you
Thank you.
anyhow.
Thank you,
you.
Phyllis.
John, do you have anything on the?
No.
Okay.
No comments.
If anybody would like to send any comments or questions, you can send it to commissioners@co.delaware.in.us, and we can get back to you with those. So, anybody have anything else? Not, I'll entertain a motion to recess.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to recess. Steve, can you call the roll?
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Mr. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Go into recess.